Hi, and welcome to Your Future, Your Finances. I'm your host, Brian Kuhn. We have a great segment for you today. We're speaking with Mr. Len Lazarick, who is the publisher and editor of MarylandReporter.com. Welcome to the show.
Good to be here.
Thanks for coming. Tell us a little bit about MarylandReporter.com and what you do.
Well, we are a news website about state government and politics. We've been in business 7 years. We're part of the new model of nonprofit journalism. We're a nonprofit corporation, 501c3. We are supported by foundation money, by donors and sponsors. And we were founded originally with foundation money with a group that was concerned about the loss of coverage of state government. And we also do some local government as well. And so what we do is original content. We do original stories, but every day we also do a roundup of news from a bunch of other sources, and we do a daily newsletter. So if you go on our site, MarylandReporter.com, and you can sign up for our daily newsletter, or just simply look at the roundup on the homepage, or like us on Facebook or Twitter. So that's really what our niche is.
Good. And you have, when you say we, you have journalists, you have writers who work for you or freelance for you, and
right, and editors, a roundup editor who gets up early in the morning and does a report from about 40 different sources.
What do you think is the state of journalism in this country now, and the state of Maryland?
Well, in particular, there was a great loss last year in Montgomery County when the Gazette papers closed down. What's kind of remarkable in Maryland's largest county is the small number of news organizations that are operating here. And when the Gazette closed down, it was really a great loss. And so you have Bethesda Magazine has actually tried to fill the role a little bit. I explored doing something like a Montgomery Reporter, but I really didn't have the time or resources to put that together. And the Post has really cut back the number of people who are covering Metro News. So what you have is Maryland's largest county with not a really significant large news presence here. An editor named Josh Kurtz, who people might know from his days at the Gazette, is trying to put together another news website, and he lives in Tacoma Park, and I think would probably spend more time on Montgomery County. And overall, well, we have two things going on. The newspaper industry fell off a cliff in 2008. It had been in a steady downhill trend for almost 2 decades, or at least 1 decade, and then the 2008 recession, advertising just collapsed. And then the other thing, which is a more recent phenomena, I think there's a real distrust of media in general that came out of this campaign. For a lot of different reasons, some having to do with bias that people perceive. And that's also kind of reinforced by all the speculation that goes on. And we're in the middle of the period now as we transition to a Trump administration where people don't know a lot, but they have time to fill on cable, and so they speculate. And the speculation, sometimes what I tell people is I have a hard enough time figuring out the facts of things that have already happened, no less trying to predict what's going to happen. And so I think we're kind of in a sorry state when it comes to media at the moment, and where we're going to wind up. We've been in a transition period now for quite a long time, but we don't know where we're going to wind up.
What do you think the election results mean or say about Maryland as a state?
Well, clearly, if other states were like Maryland, it would be President-elect Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton carried the state by a wide margin, as predicted. The seven incumbent, 7 of 8 representatives in the House of Representatives are Democrats, partially due to gerrymandering. All of them, including the one Republican, Andy Harris, on the Eastern Shore and Northern Maryland, got reelected easily. The only one with even a close race here in Montgomery County was John Delaney, and he got 55% of the vote, which is not particularly close. So Maryland is still very much a Democratic state. However, when you look at it by counties, what you see is a central part of Maryland, Montgomery, Prince George's, Anne Arundel, Howard, Baltimore, as blue areas, and the rest of the state, the Eastern Shore and the Western Maryland, as Republican red areas. So it didn't change the dynamic very much in Maryland, but clearly you could say, Maryland was out of step with the rest of the country. The Democrats feel the rest of the country was out of step with Maryland. So.
Right. We got to take a break. We'll continue on this conversation and others. We're speaking with Len Lazarick, publisher and editor of MarylandReporter.com. Thank you for coming on the show so far. We'll be right back. We're taking a break. Your future, your finances. I'm your host, Brian Kuhn.